Welcome to Networking Knowledge. Join Dave Plunkett, founder at Collaboration Junkie and Partnerships and Referral Strategy Guru, and Paul the Banksy of LinkedIn, founder at Javelin Content and co-founder at Marketing Help Desk, as they discuss networking in real life, what it is, how to do it well, and share their incredible expertise. This is real life networking. Stop. It's hammer time, damn it.
I love that intro.
I wish I could take any credit for that, but if there isn't enough of a thing as to why you should work with Paul around kind of your video and everything else, then that little intro is it. So yeah, nice work, sir.
I just wanted something nice and lightweight that didn't take a million takes to get it exactly how you wanted to sound it. So we did it with an AI voice, and what better than Angry Don? Angry Don's brilliant for podcast sounds. I love it. It's amazing how real they can sound now. That was all just kind of text written out and just kind of adjusting the spacing and things. Right, without further ado, welcome everyone to this week's live stream for Networking Knowledge Unleashed. This week we are going to focus on 3 things you should stop doing right now. We're going to try and keep this one much more short and to the point so that you guys can get your value out of this and then get back on with your working day. Nobody wants to spend half an hour on a podcast or a live stream. So here we go. I'm just going to go straight into it, Dave, like without any further ado. What's
you know what? I want to add something though. That other than rule 3, the stuff we're gonna kind of talk about not doing. If you're doing stuff, like, don't feel too guilty. It's not about beating people up. It's about trying to give people the skills to do things better, right? So that would be my first thing. Is we're not here to kind of beat anyone up, other than when it comes to rule 3, which will all become apparent at that point. So yeah,
absolutely. And incidentally, we are live. So if at any point you come up, I do have this underlying question for people as we're live. We can come back and answer this at the end once we've got the 3 things out the way and done with. But I'd like to know, if you're watching this along, you're keen on networking, what's your biggest frustration? What's the one thing you tell people to stop doing when you're networking with people? So I think that's a nice way to get the audience involved, because that's what we want with this. Otherwise, what's the point in doing it live? So, yeah, to exactly mirror Dave's point there is, like, some of these things, and unless you've had them pointed out to you, you just don't know that you're doing them. And so this is kind of, rather than being having a go at people, this is just helping you become aware of some of the things that you might be doing that really annoy people, for want of, like, dinner time language. It's NSFW words aren't allowed at dinner time, let's be fair. So I'm going to open up with one of my personal. Now, this is frustrating, both from the person who does it as well as the person who receives it. Is don't start your messages. So, say you're connecting with somebody brand new, they've connected with you, and you're dropping them a message because you probably have some business reason why you want to reach out to them, right? You've isolated them for a reason. You think they might be a good fit for something. You want to reach out to them. I hope you're not just spamming people. Don't do that either. Is that 4? Oh dear. Don't get me started. But don't start your conversation with, how are you? Right? Because it takes you down a one-track road, and it leads to the conversation drying up pretty quickly. And then you have that awkward moment of, now I need to pitch slap you because that's the only way I can bring the conversation back from the brink of death. There's no 2 ways about it. I have done it. I have done this many times, and I had to stop doing it because, actually, as much as I genuinely meant I wanted to know how they were, and like, it wasn't just a throwaway comment, I realised that it was backing me into a corner where I actually couldn't get any value out of the conversation without coming across as a shoddy salesman, second-hand greasy car salesman. That's how it comes across when you do it that way. So, Dave,
yeah,
for this.
Yeah, I like that. And I think the thing with, and I'm going to move that through into kind of initial conversations with people, like when you're actually on a video call. But I think my thing with messages with it, and I know, look, I'm not a LinkedIn outbound expert, not by a long stretch of the imagination, right? But I think I get people. And the thing with people is everyone's different, right? So I know there are some LinkedIn experts out there who will say about chatting to people and getting to know them on DM and all that sort of stuff. But for me, I'm busy, right? So while I don't want to just be cold pitched, equally, I find it annoying if someone's just trying to be my friend, because I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for you connecting with me, right? Let's just see if there's something. Let's see if there's something here. And that comes down to you pitching well and in a genuinely interesting, collaborative way, right? But I haven't got time. I haven't got time to have conversations with the people that I want to have as much as I want to, let alone with yeah, right. Let alone with half the reason why we do this, I think, just so we can talk to each other. Let alone Billy, who's just kind of jump. Yeah, it's just so. But I know some people do respond to it more. But
I think it's born out of the fear that there's a lot of people out there who will just give you, no matter how you approach them, there are people out there on LinkedIn who don't use LinkedIn for networking, don't want to network with people, and don't appreciate you approaching them. And that is just something that you have to live with. Not everybody uses it the same way. So no matter how nice you are, no matter how direct you are or indirect you are, you're still going to get the F off response from a lot of people, right? Again, using dinner time language here. You're going to get that response from people no matter how hard you try. And that's why I think a lot of people move into that "how are you?" because they don't want to get that response. If you're going to do outbound in any way, shape or form on LinkedIn, you just need to grow a thick skin. You're going to get that. And you just need to accept that, move on, get on to the next person. But I think there's a balance between being nice and being transactional. And I'm not a big fan of transactional people either. I like to see a bit of your personality, who you are, and, but to your point, Dave, why are you here? What do you want to discuss? Is it a partnership? Do you think I might be a good client fit? And give me some reason to speak to you.
I couldn't agree more.
Just ask me for a meeting.
And if that has gone well and you've got that meeting, so my one with "how are you" is the exact same thing. And you ask them how they are. You've only just met them. They're not going to tell you how they really are. By the way, if there's people that you genuinely know and you want to build really stronger relationships with them, and you know that maybe there's a reason why they might not be okay, or they just look, if you really, really mean "how are you," then ask someone, because they genuinely might need that conversation, right? But that's for relationships who are a little bit further down the line, right? I could ask you that, but I'd ask you it in a way and tone of voice that meant I really meant it. But for people that and I had this yesterday on Monday, you jump on a call with for the first time, you don't want to necessarily jump straight to business on a call, because the call's all about getting to know someone, right? But "how are you" is a pretty closed question again. But there are subtle ways of varying that. So if it's on a Monday, I'll ask someone how their weekend was. And quite often people seem a little bit startled by it, and then they'll tell me. And they'll tell me genuine stuff about them normally, right? Like that they spent it with their kids, or they spent it doing this, or they spent it doing that. And essentially it opens you up to maybe however long, but a good few minutes of personal conversation where you get to form an actual relationship on a personal level with someone. So it's not that you shouldn't go personal first, especially in a meeting environment, but just use your imagination a little bit, I think, is my thing.
Agreed. Well, look, so that moves nicely into the second bit, because I can tell that's where a lot of people get stuck. And this one's your point, Dave. So I'll let you read this one out.
Yeah, and it does, I think, tie in really nicely. And it's stop stressing about it, right? And whether this is doing stuff on LinkedIn, or whether it's going along to actual kind of traditional networking events. And look, I'm not saying that if you're someone that really doesn't get that, doesn't enjoy that stuff, it doesn't come naturally, you're a bit of an introvert maybe, although introverts are often the best networkers. I'm not saying that you're not going to still have any uncomfortable feelings, but stop stressing about it, because you need to enjoy it. We are here for a good time, not a long time. And so, yes, network with purpose, but enjoy it. Enjoy it. People buy from people, right? People they know, like, and trust. And that people bit, let go of the pressures of having to think you have to be someone, and just be yourself. Be honest, be open, so that people can build relationships with you, and you'll bring a better version of you to the table in whatever guise you're networking, if you're more relaxed about it. so many people get worked up about this stuff, but it should be enjoyable.
At the end of the day, it's much like creating content. I find is people are so anxious about being themselves that they make content that doesn't reflect who they are, and it resonates with people who they don't want to meet. Like at the end of the day, you are who you are, who you are. Everyone else is taken. Stop trying to be somebody else. Make content that if you were the person you want to reach, you would resonate with, and accept that you're probably not going to reach 90% of the market. You can never reach 100% of your market. If you get 10% of your market, though, won't we all be in a much better place? So just resonate with the 10% who align with your vision, your energy. It's not just about, oh, this person meets my ideal persona and the ideal audience that I want to reach, and that's who I want to talk to. It's about aligning with the chunk of that even that align with you, and then you'll get really good customers, really good conversations, really good partners. And so if you apply that to networking, it's exactly the same. It is.
I was going to say it's exactly the same principle. Like if you're like, we all have slightly different levels of us, right? Like me at a festival without the kids or anything like that, that's full Dave, right? Like I'm not full Dave in a work environment, on occasion maybe. But so we're all. I'm not saying that you're just out there completely unfiltered and things, but yeah, be you, because then you attract people that you're going to want to do business with, right? And so I think that's yeah, and it's not to say you don't have a purpose behind your networking, but stop stressing about it, because sometimes as well, the best things happen from the most unlikely conversations, and they happen when we're there to enjoy. Be the person that you would want to network with. Going back to that content and resonating, be the person that you would want to network with, because you'll then respond to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess the last one. So we've done well, Dave. We're 12 minutes in. We've done intros. We've discussed the first two. Wow, we're going to be done it like well before 20 minutes here. So real value from this if you're watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Number 3 then. And I think you're absolutely right, Dave. I think there are 2 levels of this. There's conscious and unconscious.
Yeah.
And I think the unconscious part of it, you'll never know unless somebody tells you. So if you're engaging with somebody who is displaying this third one, you need to tell them somehow, tactfully, but tell them. And if it turns out that they're consciously doing it, well, then you probably shouldn't be networking with them, because some people just naturally are this way, and maybe they're just not your cup of tea. Rule number 3, don't be a dick.
And this is a life rule. If everyone could just like, the vast majority of people aren't dicks, right? But if it's the minority that lets everyone else down, but just, and I think there should be, whenever we do one of these tip-based ones, it should just be rule number 3 every single time. And there's, for the obvious, there are some obvious stuff, right? And so my obvious one for this week is going to be, don't sell in the comments of someone's post, right? It's the really obvious stuff like that. Paul knows that I had this happen to me recently. I dared mention the word YouTube on a video I put out there, so I had someone come and try and sell me YouTube editing, and then politely kind of said, yeah, not where I'm at right now, and they tried to push a little bit more. So this legend here, put a brilliant comment in that I probably couldn't have done without seem like a bit of a dick myself, but someone else coming in and going, you're being a dick was absolutely fine. Yeah, so don't sell in other people's feeds. Like if someone really, really needs your services, maybe you do a well-written message out to them that actually highlights that. But yeah, don't be a dick. Don't sell another.
But if you're going to do it, like at least have the decency to take it offline. Like take it to the DMs, drop them a line. And I think people appreciate that. If there is, look, genuinely, I get a lot of business from posts that people put out asking for advice on certain topics, support on certain things, and it's obvious that there's a link there that I can help them with. So absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. Yep. But drop it in a DM and just go, look, I saw your post, I've engaged with it. It was about this. Actually, I think I could really help you with that. If you're interested, let me know.
Yeah.
And
rather than giving 3 comments, just
take a hint.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So there we go. That's my one.
But also on the other side of that, though, I could have easily gone to town on the guy and like really like opened up on him, and I didn't. I did it. I poked fun at what he was doing. So like, yeah, he probably was a bit embarrassed, as he rightfully should be, but I wasn't horrible to him.
I don't think he was.
Well, I'd like to think he was. But
He'd moved on. He'd moved on to the next 10 posts that had the word YouTube written in them. Let's be honest.
But like, you know, it goes for all. It's like 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if you see somebody
Yes.
doing something dickish, don't be a dick about it either. Like, it's not going to help the situation. It just inflames things. And let's be honest, there's enough negative energy in the world as there is. Like, worst case scenario, just ignore it and move on. Like, don't feed the trolls is one of my favorite phrases, right? Don't feed the trolls, because they are a hungry bunch and they will just eat your words and bring you into disrepute as a result. So like, don't feed the trolls. But like, I also think it goes for things like, you know, I was once invited to a networking conversation. When I joined it, there was 3 people from their team on the call, and they were trying to sell me a product. They bumped me onto a presentation before I even knew what was going on. And I'm one of those people, I'll always turn those situations into an opportunity for me. And I just stopped them and went, guys, is this how you sell to clients? This is how you try and get clients? Because I can show you a better way of doing this. And they really, like, they did genuinely take it on board. They were Eastern European. They just, like, they were a new company. They were just trying to get out there. There was nothing malicious in it as such, but they clearly knew what they were doing. And I didn't quite convert it, but I almost got some business out of that in terms of helping them build out their whole sales strategy. So every cloud has its silver lining and things. But seriously, just don't be a dick.
Yeah. So we've got be a bit more original than how are you? Let's be personal, but let's get to the point. Don't stress about it. Enjoy your networking, and don't be a dick. There we go.
Right. So just before we disappear, I've just got some comments from some of the fantastic people who were watching along, which is great. Thank you very much for chipping in the comments. So we've got Bob Heidelberg here. Be kind and nice. You might meet them again.
Absolutely.
Dave, I know you're a big fan of. Be kind to the people you meet on your way up, because you will be meeting them again on the way down. We all rise and sink. So absolutely couldn't agree more with it. My marketing and CEO pulled me up on posting negative news within the industry. What's your thoughts and opinions on this? Oh, it's an interesting one. Dave?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in sharing good news. Like, I don't watch that much news as negativity. There's a load of good stuff that's going on there out in the world. And I start my day with looking at a bit of good news. There's so much advances and all sorts of stuff that's going on. But if it's genuinely informative, or you have a solution or there's some value in it, for me, it would be around adding value. Is it adding value to someone putting it out there? If it's just negative, then I'm not sure what
always consider how it's going to impact other people's perception of you or your business is what I'd say. So to your point, Dave, like, fair enough. Like, if something negative's happened in the industry, let's not cover it up and hide it. Like, I'm a big fan of transparency and getting it out there. But if you can't show a way through your conversation to bring some positivity to that, a silver lining to that cloud, is there any real value? Because if you just bring in negativity to the feed, I think there's enough of that as there already is. So I can kind of see both sides, Glenn.
Yeah.
But a little bit of upward management in terms of social media sometimes is necessary, as I well know. Bob Heidelberg again. Don't feed the trolls. Love it. Yeah, I can't claim that's my own, but I honestly, at this moment in time, I can't think who it was that said it to me. But everybody I've said it to has absolutely loved it. It's so true. Let's not get me started on trolls.
Let's not feed them. another one for another time. That one, isn't it? So
I see this often. People in the comments tearing down someone's working order seller services. Can't see how it would work. It must work sometimes, or it's worked once for them. Therefore, they go out there and try and do it again and again and again, or they've been told by somebody that it works. And I genuinely believe a lot of this is just bad training and mentoring by people. Like, people don't necessarily know how to sell. Everybody wants quick wins. They see these things out there and think, oh, I can do that. And but should you? Should you do that is the question people forget to ask. So Natalie, Bob, Glenn, thank you very much for your comments in the feed there. Really nice to have you guys along. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have presenting it. And now, if you saw the intro, now you get to see the outro. So thanks for your time. We will see you again in a week or two. And the comments, the links that will be added in they're mentioned in the video, I've already put them in the comments. So you'll now understand why they're in there.
He's good.
Speak soon.
Hello, I'm Paul. This has been Networking Knowledge Unleashed. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We've shared lots of tips today, and now it's our time to shout a little bit about what we each other do. I want to introduce Dave. Dave is a fantastic personality. As you can probably tell, he has bags of energy and positivity, and he helps businesses with their partnerships and referral strategies. He's helped my business massively. I thought I knew it all. I didn't. I went through his course and he radically changed the direction of my business. And I'm already seeing new leads coming into my business from the partners that Dave told me to match up with. So I can't recommend Dave enough. He is a fantastic personality. And if you'd like to know more about how Dave can help you in your business, the details of his next webinar, which will be free, are coming up below in the comments. Make sure you reach out, register, and take part. I promise you it is time well spent.
Thanks, Paul. Now my turn to recommend you, I guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to build your personal brand through video, or you want to do more video, but you're nervous about where to start, or it feels like a faff, then speak to Paul. He is an absolute expert at not only getting the right content from you, but then repurposing it so that the content you do goes such a long way. Speak to this man. He's an absolute legend.